All right, welcome back. My kids can't be Nigerian because I'm a woman. I don't know where we're going with this, but I'm going to read this short excerpt and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, that's the Kemi Badenoch
Statement,
miss,
yes.
misspeak, and she is wrong. She is completely wrong. She doesn't get it just because of who she is. Please go ahead.
All right, great. All right, so according to Premium Times NG's a report here says the leader of the UK Conservative Party, Kemi Badenoch, claims that she is unable to pass our Nigerian citizenship to her children because she's a woman. This is despite the fact that the Nigerian constitution does not discriminate against any gender when passing on Nigerian citizenship. The Nigerian constitution states that any person born outside Nigeria is automatically a citizen of Nigeria if either of their parents is a Nigerian citizen at the time of their child's birth. Ms. Badenoch, however, said on Sunday that while many Nigerians are taking advantage of the UK's relatively easy citizenship acquisition process, it remains, and I quote, virtually impossible to obtain Nigerian citizenship. While speaking with CNN's Fareed Zakaria during an interview, the 45-year-old British politician said there was a need for the UK to tighten its citizenship and immigration policy. She used our children's alleged inability to get Nigerian citizenship to illustrate the stark contrast between Nigeria's approach and that of the UK. And I quote, I have Nigerian citizenship by virtue of my parents, but I can't give it to my children because I'm a woman, she said. Yet loads of Nigerians come to the UK and stay for a relatively free period of time, acquiring British citizenship. We need to stop being naive, she added. Despite being born in Nigeria to Nigerian parents and migrating to the UK at the age of 16, Ms. Badenoch has repeatedly criticized the UK's immigration policy, which she says makes it too easy for citizens of Nigeria and other countries to move to the UK. She has consistently called for stricter immigration controls. And I quote, we are allowing our tolerance to be exploited. That is not right, she said in the CNN interview. Nigerians would not tolerate that. That's not something that many countries would accept. There are many people who come to our country, to the UK, would do things that would not be acceptable in the country.
When you say UK,
I say
UK. Yeah, that's Australian accent. When you say UK,
that was my attempt. That was my attempt at the UK accent.
Accent.
Yeah. What do you say to this one, sir? Go ahead. You do.
Thank you very much. You know, in the past, because of my penchant for defending free speech, I said Kemi Badenoch should be left alone. Whatever she's been doing to really curry the favor of conservative political circle in the UK. But now I'm beginning to think that she is a dangerous person, and she wants to say and I mean this really. She wants to say anything to really drive the. Yes, she will lash onto anything in order to find justification for the way in which she has really stamped herself firmly as a kind of quote and unquote Uncle Tom. You know, the slave in the house slave is always thinking that he or she is better than the ones outside.
The house ninja.
The house nigger. And we are allowed to use the N word because we can play around it. But no.
I said ninja. I said ninja.
You said ninja anyway. Yeah. Let me just. I withdraw that because I do not want us to be flagged. But to use the N word and the house, yeah. What she is doing, there is no way anybody would say that her children cannot become Nigerian citizens. That is her being tormented by, since she has said the narrative, a kind of narrative she wants to push out there in order to justify her questionable embrace of what is ultra-right, extreme right-wing agenda of shutting out migrants from United Kingdom. And she should understand that if this agenda she's setting that she is pursuing so aggressively had been pushed against her parents in the United Kingdom when they first got there and before she was born, she today would not be a proud Nigerian British citizen. She would not. There is no way anybody would say that children that were given birth to by those of us Nigerians in the diaspora will be denied Nigerian citizenship. It doesn't happen, and it can never happen. If Nigeria is so proactive about trying to embrace the rest of Africans in the diaspora, whether with traceable history or heritage to Nigeria or not, because that I understand, that I know as a journalist to be an issue that is still being discussed, that Nigeria is able to provide such a proactive lead for the rest of the international community in the way it treats Africans in the diaspora. Whether that African, whether such a person migrated or left the continent as a slave several centuries, or whose ancestors left the continent as slaves several centuries before now, or the forebears left the continent several years back, say decades back, and they cannot really create the link. Nigeria is making effort to see the country as the ultimate home for every African to come back to. And you would see that trace in the recent trip of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu during his recent trip to the Caribbean.
To Brazil and St. Lucia.
That's right. Some of those things were on the table for discussion. So for Kemi Badenoch to just wake up and say that because she is a woman, her citizenship or African birthright cannot transfer to her children is a lie from the pit of hell. And I do not understand why she continues to do this. And you find the reason behind that, the justification for what she's trying to do, in the fact that she's connecting it with the relative ease, according to her. Because I don't know if anybody can describe the experience of acquiring British citizenship as being easy for Nigerians or any other international persons, for that matter. So some of these things are ideas dancing in her brain, and she unloads it on the world as if it's the unquestionable truth. This is not right, and it is all wrong. It is falsehood parading. You know what propaganda, the power of propaganda. Somebody tells a lie, like the Goebbelian, Joseph Goebbels, the minister of propaganda during Adolf Hitler's, reign from 1939 to 1945 in Germany. That is where this is coming from. Somebody pushes a lie, believes that lie, and continues to push it as if it is the reality. I think at this point, I want to agree with some individuals that think that Kemi Badenoch is dangerous. And I think she is dangerous. Nigeria does not have such a policy. And there are so many things may be wrong with Nigeria. Mm-hmm. Let us point such wrong things out. But in this case, Nigeria is doing everything possible to make sure that it has this proactive citizen diplomacy, and Nigeria is trying to provide, and Nigeria has always had that on the agenda, to be the foremost black nation that provides refuge for every black person on the face of the earth. So what she is saying is a figment of our imagination, and we challenge her to provide the proof that she's ever applied for for Nigerian citizenship for her children, and they were denied just because she's a woman. That is wrong. Nigeria is not that bad. Nigeria is not that backward. And we must be able to set the narratives properly that Kemi Badenoch does not know what she is saying. You know, this this image of Adekodere, Kemi Badenoch. Adekodere. That is the kind of person Kemi Badenoch is. She's now in London. She dines and wines with the high and mighty in England, and so she can say all kinds of trash about the land of ancestors.
She must be enjoying the attention. I mean, what's the consistent attack?
It only lasts for a while. There is going to be a time that she will look around her and find out that she will practically be alone. And the only people she would see in that hour will be a fellow African.
Well, let me read a statement from Femi SAN Falana to you.
Femi Falana, SAN.
SAN, on this matter. I guess he just went into the constitution to pull us some stuff. He said, contrary to Kemi Badenoch's misleading claim, her children are Nigerians because she's a Nigerian. Her assertion that she cannot give Nigerian citizenship to her children because she's a woman is not in consonance with Section 25B and C of the Nigerian Constitution, which provides that every person born in Nigeria after the date of independence, either of whose parents or any of whose grandparents is a citizen of Nigeria, and C, every person born outside Nigeria, either of whose parents is a citizen of Nigeria. Furthermore, by virtue of Section 42(2) of the Nigerian Constitution, no citizen of Nigeria shall be subjected to any disability or deprivation merely by reason of the circumstances of his birth, gender, political opinions, or class. To that extent, Kemi Badenoch's children cannot be denied their Nigerian citizenship because of our gender. Therefore, like Kemi Badenoch, our two children are Nigerian citizens. The fact that the Tory leader may not want them to claim their Nigerian citizenship is totally irrelevant. Wow, shots fired.
Yes,
for now,
yes.
For now, they are dual citizens of Britain and Nigeria. It is up to the children to renounce their Nigerian citizenship upon the attainment of full age in accordance with Section 29 of the Nigerian Constitution. Kemi Badenoch also said it's virtually impossible. Now, there's our Ononuga. You know who Mr. Ononuga is?
Yeah, right? Yes, he's our senior colleague.
Okay.
He is our senior professional colleague and spokesperson to the Nigerian president.
Got it. He said Kemi Badenoch lied. She owes our fatherland some apology. Britain should send our lost daughter Kemi Badenoch home for a proper re-education. He said this on X.
Yeah, yes, and I agree with him. I further want to also
sorry to our chat. Babes Wind in the chat said Kemi is trying to impress British Parliament and its citizens. She can never be the PM. Wala. Shout out to Abby. Abby, I see you. Welcome. Abby said, babes, even if she does, she'll be given an extremely tough time. I don't know why she would like that
yes
way.
And let me make this additional request to the British authorities that Kemi Badenoch should be checked into a facility. She needs a system reward examined, and she, I think, needs rehabilitation. She may be dealing with mental situations that are beyond the ordinary. For somebody to be saying some of the what's it called? Erratic things she says at times cause for concern. And I think by now, British authorities should begin to also view her as a dangerous person that should not be allowed to become British Prime Minister. Because if this points to nothing else, it shows that
they shouldn't trust her. They shouldn't trust her.
She cannot be trusted, and it shows that Kemi Badenoch is desperate.
Yeah, I agree.
And
100%.
she will go to any lengths to get whatever she wants, and that is really, really something that's got to be dealt with at the level of mental health. I mean, at the level of mental health concern. So that's my take on it, and I agree with the opinion of everybody that Kemi Badenoch is the liar.
But meta evaluation, is it that deep?
It is. It is. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're talking of something that is got to do with that has got to do with issues of bilateral relations here. Until certain events of the 60s and 70s, I think when the Buhari Diagba administration misbehaved to a certain extent, it was not a big deal to recognize that any Nigerian could walk up to what's it called, the British High Commission, and get a visa.
Yeah.
But with the attempt to kidnap Umar Diko and what have you, and compounding things with the shenanigans perpetrated with the execution of Kensaro Wewa during the years of Sani Abacha, things got compounded. And I mean, this woman, let me withdraw that because I don't want to be chauvinistic about it. But Kemi Badenoch, with all due respect, is now setting an agenda that would further strain the cordial relationship.
She cannot be trusted. Whoever she's trying to appease, they are going to throw her right back under the bus when the timing is right. She's giving them ammunitions.
That is always the tragedy of every Uncle Tom. That is always the tragedy of every Uncle Tom.
They will remind her.
Retribution. Retribution will come, and it will come real quick. For somebody to betray our race the way she is doing, our land of ancestry, the way she is doing, is only comparable in historical and in historical proportions to the denial that Jesus suffered in the hand of Saint Peter, who later became indeed a rock of the faith. Maybe at some point, Kemi Badenoch will have an epiphany and will be a rock solid defender for things Nigerian. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Speaking of certain events of the 1960s, check out the next story here. We're going to jump right into this FBI files. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We'll be right back with this Martin Luther King story. Hang tight.